Only Monday Night Raw can give you a graduation in the middle of January. Really can't wait for the Royal Rumble. This is WrestleRound bringing you today's top 5 wrestling news and rumors. Make sure to have those notifications turned on to always be up to date, and let's get right into the coverage. Today we're going to start off with a report that basically comes out every month. The only thing that changes is who is that superstar that Vince McMahon has given up on. I might as well make this a monthly segment because it is a bit ridiculous, and this time around, according to new reports, Vince McMahon has given up on Finn Balor. And this hardly makes any sense because he could be a guy that could literally win the Royal Rumble and go on to WrestleMania and have an incredible main event and an incredible feud with anybody. He is a great babyface. The crowd is always behind him. Got the demon persona. There's a lot of content right there that WWE just does not utilize. Report from WrestlingNews.co indicates that on this past week, Monday Night Raw, it was made clear that there are no long-term plans for Finn Balor as a top star in the company, as Austin Theory scored a clean pin over Finn Balor, and in the process, he made his mentor, Mr. McMahon, happy. Austin Theory has been appearing in backstage segment with Vince McMahon. It's clear that they are trying to push him as much as possible, and as reports indicated before, Vince McMahon sees Austin Theory as someone who could break out as his next big star. As for what they're trying to do with Finn Balor, apparently he's gonna be moved into the spot that Jeff Hardy had. He's just there now to help get over the younger talents. WrestlingNews.co indicated that a source had told them that Vince McMahon does not see Finn Balor as more than just a mid-card guy. Paul Heyman would have pushed him to the moon, but Vince McMahon just never saw it. Austin Theory is going to get time to shine in the Rumble match, with reports even indicating that he will likely be one of the final 4 or final 5. And then WWE is planning to make him a main event level player within the next year. That is obviously great for Austin Theory, but it hardly makes any sense when it comes to Finn Balor. He is a talent that at least should be considered to main event a WrestleMania. And an update to the latest report regarding Cody Rhodes being a free agent and working with AEW without a contract since the end of last year. According to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, it was said that a top-ranking AEW official informed Meltzer that Cody Rhodes' contract situation will be a mere publicity stunt. Basically, that all of this of Cody being a free agent is a lie to get the buzz that he actually wanted from it. Obviously, there have been a lot of speculations already whether his free agency status means Cody Rhodes will appear during the Royal Rumble match. However, that is very unlikely, as we reported before already, because it looks like WWE and AEW are not going to be working together when it comes to that type of thing. The source wasn't necessarily sure if this was a publicity stunt, but it is a possibility considering that it's such a big story. But we all know that in the end, Cody Rhodes is not going anywhere. He is tied up with AEW in too many different ways, and even though he doesn't have a brand new contract, that simply seems to be because he hasn't been on AEW over the last couple of weeks. This upcoming Wednesday will actually be his first appearance on the show. Sticking with AEW, the Wrestling Observer Radio also indicated that AEW is blocking Bryan Danielson from working in a very popular region, and that might be for PWG. The reason for it is not that AEW doesn't want Bryan to work for another promotion, it's just that they don't want him to work in that region until AEW does their own show in that market. This could potentially be for PWG, but it hasn't been confirmed yet. We do know that Bryan has been interested in working there and doing a bit more outside of AEW. This is probably like the first time that we hear of AEW blocking a top-level superstar from working on other indie promotion, so I'm wondering if this is something AEW is going to be doing more often. Hopefully not, as a lot of the superstars that have come to AEW is because of the liberty that they have. So as soon as you start taking things away, starts looking a bit more exclusive like that other company. According to multiple reports, this week WWE saw its second lowest live attendance for a show since the pandemic started, and that was for Monday Night Raw. That is certainly a little bit scary, especially heading into the Royal Rumble. And the Observer even described it as it being brutal. It is worth mentioning though that even AEW last week had an extremely low attendance, but this one was said to be a little bit worse. And it looks like we got a big update on a match that WWE teased, but is actually not even planning on giving us. With Brock Lesnar winning the WWE title at day 1 and Roman Reigns missing the event, that means that there are both champions, which the following week on SmackDown it led to WWE teasing that they wanted to do a title versus title match between both superstars because clearly their feud is not over yet. The Wrestling Observer Radio went on to talk about this potential match, basically indicating that that was not the plan at all, that they just did it because those two guys had the belt at the time, so it made sense to do it at that time, even though that was in the direction that WWE was planning. They basically hyped everybody up, Swerve does on this matchup, when they don't even plan on doing it because, as we discussed before, the long-term plan is for Seth Rollins to eventually get a title so that he can main event one night of WrestleMania, and then Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns will main event the other one for that other title. There's obviously a lot of different ways that WWE could take this, and they did just confirm the Elimination Chamber to be happening in Saudi Arabia. So now they got a plan towards that as we are headed into the Rumble, and we're gonna see what actual plans WWE has. That is all the latest for now. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What direction you think WWE is going to be taking all of this as we head into WrestleMania. Stay savage, and I'll catch you on the next one.